This one's actually a lot easier to get on than the one with the blue lever actually. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be going through the setup of the quad lock wireless charger, and to do it I'm going to take you down this lovely little track. How's it going, guys? Really excited about this one. Finally going to be setting up the quad lock wireless charger. Quad Lock were kind enough to send me this about a couple of weeks ago, but the weather's been shit in the UK after lockdown's been lifted, obviously, so I haven't had a chance to fit it. So today I'm going to get it wired up and see what it looks like. My aim is to wire it up to the battery directly, so I might have to take some of the tank panels off to do that. So I'll go through wiring it up, the different types of wiring that you can do, and also there's a few little caveats with the power consumption, so I'll go through all of that so that you don't end up with a dead battery the next day on your bike. So let's get started. Okay, so here's the wireless charger itself. In the box, you get the wireless charging head, and you get a couple of different ways of wiring it up. So here you get a normal USB lead, just a USB-C to USB, the PC version, whatever that is. You also get a battery connector to an SAE connector, which is the standard one for sort of motorcycles, things like that. And then you get another shorter USB lead as well, in case you've already got a USB thing set up like I have here. You also get a couple of zip ties in the box, and then you also get the plug that goes from the SAE connector to USB. What we'll be doing is wiring it up to the battery, and then using this plug here, and then connecting that up with a USB lead, run down the bike and into the charger. So first things first, I'm just going to take off the old head, and that is literally as simple as taking out the middle screw, and the whole thing should come off. There we go, simple as that. So next thing's to fit the head. First thing I should mention, when you get this, the first thing they'll tell you is that there was a manufacturing issue with a few of the units. The O-ring just in the middle, unfortunately on some of the units it's popped off. So when you take the wireless charger out of the box, it can spring open. There's instructions on their site on how to fix that. It's really simple. You just take it apart, chuck the O-ring back in, and throw it back in. So the first thing I'm going to do is line it up onto here where I want it, and then fit the little quad lock piece on top. Obviously having the quad lock writing up the right way. Take the little bag of bits that they've given you, and inside there's a longer screw that fits all the way through the mount. Drop the screw in the middle there, tighten this all the way back up, extra little tighten, and there it is, secure. Okay, so first things first, I'm actually just going to figure out where to run it. I think I'm going to do it under this panel here. I probably will have to remove the panel just to make it a little bit easier, so I'll run you through that now. Okay, it's actually the first time I've had these tank panels off, so I'll be learning along the way. Starting with finding the right Allen key size. Terrible for this. Putting my Allen keys down, not knowing what I've done with them. Luckily, I think it's the same size as this one. Okay, off comes the central panel. So next I'm just going to take off the left-hand side panel here. So there we go, off it comes. Okay, so we've got a push clip at the front here, which I missed, so we can fit that later. Right, yeah, nice. So what do you think of the XSR with no tank panels, hey? Let's have a quick look. Check that out. Okay, so the next thing to do is track the wire underneath and up to the battery. So what I'm going to do is start by plugging in the cable into the charger so I know how much slack I need. It's important when you're wiring things up to make sure you've got enough slack to turn the handlebars. So looking at it, it's going to be plenty long enough. Perfect. Now what I might do is wrap it around the bars once, just as a bit of tension relief. So I'm just passing this through, down through the behind the headlight assembly, with my other cables. So okay, so now we've got that coming out down through here. So I'm going to run it nice and neatly underneath one of the brackets and out the other end. Just a little bit of extra security. There we go, past the air intake. In fact, I'll slip it underneath the rubber and there we go. So it's all ready to be wired into the battery. That was a lot easier than I thought. What I'm going to do is just get the tank panels back on so they're not sat on the floor, and then I'll give you a close-up of what I'm doing with the battery. So the first one to get back in place will be the tank panel. So let's do that. So the push fit connector that I found was up at the front here. So. Back together. So now, like I said, important, so the lead is here, so we'll just check left and right, or right and left as the case may be, and it all looks fine. It's free flowing under here. So what I might do is cable tie it to one of the other cables here. Right, so now what we're going to do is get all this bracketry off so we can get the battery and wire it into the battery. Right, so this bit's nice and simple to take off. Quick shout out to Brogue Motorcycles for this awesome little helmet hook. Yamaha did supply sort of a makeshift one. You kind of use this cable here. Absolute pain in the ass to do. Takes forever, it's just annoying. This one from Brogue, you just put it straight on and hook your helmet on, chuck the seat back on, and then you can't get the helmet off until you take the seat off again. So really neat little solution. Frustrating already, so the you can probably see there the connector is quite thick, so it won't actually fit underneath my battery terminal, so I'm just going to have to put it up on the top end. It's not a massive issue, just something to be aware of. These connectors aren't as flat as they could be. Actually, you know what, this isn't fitting very well at all. Bump it into the battery. There we go, that should do it. Alright, positive terminal is back on. It looks good, so I'll just tighten that up, and there it is. Okay, so nice little SAE connector there. I'll see if I can pop that back up through so that we have it all on top. Here's the USB from there, so let's keep those both accessible and get everything back on. Okay, I think that seems all right. So, okay, so time to get all the screws back on. Whoa, just left that out in the heat, and it is very hot to touch. All right. So there it is. So it's all wired in, it's all looking nice and neat. So I know I said that I wanted the SAE connector accessible. Unfortunately, I've had to put it underneath the plastics in there, but I'm not too bothered about that because, you know, it's not underneath the tank anywhere or whatever, it is underneath the seat. So 4 screws and I can get to it. It'll only drain your battery over a couple of months. So you can leave it plugged in most of the time without worrying. Give you a few close-ups of it now. You can see it working. And then we'll go for a little ride down the track and see if it survives. Okay, so here you can see it, and basically the way it works is the whole top end just pushes down like this. So when you click your phone on, all 4 of these little locks pop back up into the back of the phone, and it's super secure. So I'll show you that now. So there it is, locks on. There's no wireless charging at the moment. I'll just try pressing the power button on the back. Okay, so you can switch the wireless charger on when the bike is off. Okay, so there's a little button just on the back here. So even though the bike is off now, the key's not even in the ignition, I can press the power button and have it charge up. So be careful of that. If you're leaving the phone on the bike, just make sure it's not charging if you're just going to leave it there while you're having a coffee. So to take it off, you can push down on both sides of the charger, twist your phone, and it just pops off, and it's simple as that. And to be honest, this one's actually a lot easier to get on than the one with the blue lever actually. So because the one with the blue lever kind of tilts your phone to the side and you have to kind of push it on, and whereas this one's one big collar, works really well. So now that I've switched the bike on, let's see what happens. So the charger is currently off, the bike is switched on, snap on your phone, nothing happens. So to enable any type of charging, you need to press the button on the back. So again, something to be careful of. If you're expecting that you can just jump straight on the bike and you can just clip your phone on and then ride away and hope that it's charging, don't be so sure. Make sure that it's charging, make sure it's switched on at the back. Now, when you unplug and take off the phone, like I said, the charger recognizes it, goes back to a blue light, but it does not switch off. The charger's still on, click it at the bottom and it will turn off. So there it is. So I can't actually remember the power off the top of my head for how much it draws when it's charging, when it's off, when it's completely unplugged. But what I'll do is I'll post those here now, and you can take a look at that, and that will help you decide when you want it plugged in, when you want it switched on or off, and also when you want to completely disconnect it from the battery. So there you have it. The quad lock wireless charger installed onto the bike. It didn't take that long. It's just a fiddle to find out where you're going to put the stuff. It looks great. It should work great. So we're just going to test it out over the next couple of weeks and I'll give you some feedback. And yeah, if you've got any questions about it, let me know down in the comments and I'm sure I'll get back to you. And yeah, so now it's time to actually take it for a little test ride. So we're going to go off-road a little bit down the track, phone plugged in, charging, and see what it does. All right, here we go. So just going to go down this little gravel road which you've seen me go down before. If you want to check out some of my 360 videos, then head over to YouTube. I've got a few on there, and just gonna drag it down this little track and see what the phone holder does. See, there's a few bumps here, look, like that. So this is probably better than a road test for it. And then and on the way home, of course, I will be taking the roadway home. So I'll be testing it out at some speed there as well, and I'll let you know if it all stays together. So here we go. God, I do love a little bit of off-road. Get that rear wheel spinning. Gotta love it. You know, I've got the Pirelli MT60 RSs on here, and they do love a little bit of gravel. And a couple of these lanes around by me have just been resurfaced, and they're really good fun. And I mean, as you know, the XSR is not exactly an off-road bike, but I tell you, it doesn't do half bad on these little tracks, that's for sure. Okay, let's get going. Oh, yes. A little bit of wildlife there, scaring away the sheeps. Oh, sorry little lammies. Absolutely beautiful. England can be an absolutely beautiful country at times. Sorry little sheep. Other times it's just a miserable rainy mess, as you probably know, but a lot of the time it can be beautiful. Alright, let's get up and over this bit. Always worried about that bit on these tyres. Okay. All right, so it seemed like it went off absolutely without a hitch. Still on there. It's actually got quite a nice little bit of give. It's not as solid as the other one, which makes it quite nice. Maybe that'll even help with the iPhone problem, because I know a lot of iPhones have had it where they get shake in their image stabilization after using it on a bike, but this will probably do quite well for that. Anyway, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Seems to be doing the job, so thanks for watching. If you like the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see any more XSR related content or any general motorcycle accessory stuff in the future. I've also got some 360 rides, things like that, so head over to my channel to check them out. And yeah, take it easy. I'll see you in the next one.